Hi, my name is Melissa Strongen, and I have a testimony to share about me being oppressed by mind torment, how Jesus healed me. This testimony is for people with ears to hear and eyes to see. So I want to take you through my testimony of what I went through, how it happened, how it started, all the way through, and what I did to get healed by Jesus. So here we go. I don't know how long this is going to be, but if you fast forward, you're going to miss it. So I advise you to listen to the whole thing. So these are for people who are going through similar situations. So I hope this testimony will bless you. So how this happened was so I work in background, and that is by this company for extras management who I work with. I work in Hollywood, and they booked me on this particular show, and this one seemed to be very odd and strange. The reason why I said odd and strange, I've never worked with them before. They're brand new. I'm great with working with newer people, but the way they did things was different, and it was just off to me. So they booked me on this show, and usually when they book you, they say, "Hey, confirm you're working on this date, and you're gonna just be an audience member, and that's it for a show." They didn't really specify or tell me anything. They're very secretive, and they send you an email of explaining what you're going to wear, for the show. And then there are people who do your wardrobe. There's the wardrobe department who picks out your clothes, this, that, and the third. And then they put everyone on a bus. It's called the People Mover. And then they send you on down to the set where you will be placed at, where they'll be filming for the show. So the email didn't really indicate what was really going to be happening. They just only gave us the vague specifics, and that we had to sign an NDA. Usually they send an NDA, they put it in the email for everyone to read, and to read it beforehand before you go on a set. So this time it was weird. The company that was new, or the people from the show, they called me and say, "Hey, you didn't sign an NDA," and they never call you. So that was a little bit off. So we get to the set, everyone's placed, the crew is there, and they gather us in a huddle, and they're just telling us about the show. They didn't tell us who was going to be on the show and what would they be doing and who they invited. They didn't specify that. They left that out. So they get us in a huddle. They're explaining to us what's going to happen, what we're going to do. We're going to be sitting in these wonderful tables because I'm an audience member for a show. I believe it's like a cable primetime show, what it was. And what it was, they hired a person to do a magic trick show. That's what they were saying. So what turned out to be, they hired a hypnotist. And as they're filming, this guy it was this Caucasian guy. He was wearing all black, and he was getting participants to come on stage and to do this act. And they're filming. I thought this was fake. Usually everything is fake because they're pretending and they're acting out a scene. But it really turned out to be very real. So he gets these people on stage and he's doing things to them, and they're putting them to sleep. And I'm not participating. I'm not listening. I'm not laughing. I'm not going along with it because something in my spirit was not correct. The Holy Spirit was telling me something about this is not correct. And I couldn't leave the set because I'm bused there. So I have to walk a long ways to get back to my car. So during that time, so he goes through the whole bit, his whole thing on stage. Then as we get to the last part of the show, so he calls this guy up. So the guy had like this clicker in his hand. It looked like a stopwatch. He kept clicking and kept clicking and kept clicking. And I didn't know what he was doing, but he kept clicking things. And so this guy gets on stage. He's telling his whole life, what goes on in his home, what goes on in the privacy of his bedroom, what he does with his girlfriend. At that point, I got extremely disgusted. I got like something in me rose up. I got up, went to the bathroom. I went there like a couple of times, but the last time I stayed there, and I stayed there until the show was over. And I just started praying. And I just started repenting. And because this wasn't right, people were sitting there laughing at the man, and the man is unaware of what is happening to him in that moment, because the Holy Spirit told me what was happening to these people was these people are talking from the state of their unconsciousness. I didn't know this before. The Holy Spirit told me this. They're talking from this state of unconsciousness, and they have no control if someone's speaking in their unconscious state. And doors were opened in the spirit realm. Okay, so